no sleep.
I like to start the new year with a trip because it shows you how big the world is and the infinite possibilities that await you in the next 365 days. This year, I picked the Canary Islands, 9 days in total in Gran Canaria and Tenerife. They say time flies when we're having fun, but somehow these 9 dreamy days pass by in slow motion. All the happy moments are savored frame by frame. We stayed in the north of Gran Canaria, close to the beach of Las Canteras. Every day we would walk along the beach, appreciating how the sea has got different shades of blue at different hours of the day. No doubt that most people come to the island for the beach and the majestic sand dunes of Mas Palomas. But the old town of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria is definitely worth exploring for a couple of hours. We didn't enter the Catedral de Santa Ana or Casa de Colón, where Christopher Columbus stayed before setting out for the New World. We enjoyed the simple pleasures of strolling down the cobblestone streets and admiring the colorful historic buildings bathing in the late afternoon sun. I had the most fun the second day on island at Playa de Ingles and Las Dunas de Mas Palomas, despite the wind that almost blew my soul away. At any given moment, you just stood there and it felt like having a ride in a convertible, driving at 120 miles per hour. First dip in the sea, I shrieked. The water was kinda cold, but this chilliness of ocean was somehow tempting, so I tried a second and a third time. Soon I was fully embracing it. I guess this is probably true with most things in life. You just gotta keep trying until you feel comfortable with it. And now it's lunchtime. So there are lots of restaurants here. We're going to a restaurant that's called La Sirena.
Buen provecho. Gracias. Dorado.
We continued our walk to the sand dunes after lunch. Even though the Mas Palomas sand dunes are pretty much connected to Playa de Ingles, it would be a serious understatement if it is concluded as an extension of the beach. When you walk a bit further into the dunes, you would get this feeling that you are in a real desert, except that you know that the edge of it isn't far away, and that if you look back, you can always see the dark blue sea.
I'm gonna go down this slope. Oh, it's so warm and so soft.
Sometimes you see little black dots several dunes away. They would disappear for a while and then reappear, and you instantly feel how small humans are in the face of nature. The third day on island was a bit bumpy. The plan was to stop by at the botanical garden first and spend most of the day in the mountain, but we got stalled at our first stop. So we just discovered this little paseo called Paseo de Dragos. Look behind me and also in front of me later. There are tons of dragon trees along this little track. It's so pretty and it's super photogenic. We were completely enchanted by those alien-looking dragon trees, by cactus taller than a house, and so many other plants that are only created by God's best imagination. This place is definitely worth a visit and it's completely free. We ended up spending almost 3 hours in the botanical garden, and we were really glad that we did so, because we backed off shortly after we started our drive in the mountain. If you also plan to visit villages like Nublo, be prepared to drive hours on the winding single-lane mountain road for cars from both sides. We decided not to stress ourselves out, so we headed back only half hour into the mountain. To some extent, it did feel like we didn't fulfill the purpose of this specific trip, but we really enjoyed spending the rest of the day walking aimlessly along the beach, sipping coffee, and watching sunset. Maybe that's the true meaning of travel. It's more of an experience for the heart than another goal to be achieved. Last day in Gran Canaria, we headed straight to its southwestern corner. We actually drove down to Puerto de Morgan after we saw the sand dunes the other day, hoping to catch the sunset there. However, when we arrived there, the sun had sort of set already. So we came back to explore the town first thing in the morning. Honestly, it's not that big a place, but there's something about it that makes it particularly charming and romantic. It's got a small beach, a nice little port where you can see fish swimming around, and of course, the signature very Instagrammable streets decorated with blossoming bougainvillea. If you really want to enjoy some quality beach time, Playa de Amadores is probably a better option. The beach there is much bigger, and there are tons of restaurants and shops along the beach. I didn't feel much for the rest of the afternoon because I took a really long nap in the warm sun. This is easily the most chilled trip I've had in the past few years. We didn't rush ourselves from place to place or to make sure that every minute of the day is well spent. But my heart is full and nourished. We flew to Tenerife the next morning, and truth be told, that's the real highlight of the trip. So stay tuned.